he fell in love with it, really liked our guys. And he was at the game the other night when we played Seton Hall, so it was great to see him there. So we're excited about him. I think he's a great fit and part of a really good class.
Chad?
Hi, Fran. I want to follow up on Ladji as well. What type of player do you see him as being? Is he more of a banger inside or a versatile big man? Is he a 5? Is he a 4? What do you see?
He's versatile. He can put it on the deck. He can shoot, as I said, from 3-point range. He's got good feel. You can post him. You can run your offense through him, in the pinch post area. He can play in transition, bring it off the glass, or fill the lane. I think he'd be a good motion player. All those things were obviously important to us at the front end. That's why we recruited him in the first place. But I was really impressed with his skill set. He comes from, St. Benedict's, which is a really high-level national program. Mark Taylor's the coach. I mean, he's been doing this a long time. They play a very competitive national schedule. They play a lot of games. Practices are really intense. So I'm certain that he'll not only be a really good player, but he'll come in ready to play.
Coach, a question from Steve Batterson, who's in a noisy Carver right now. He wants to know kind of what do you see out of Omaha the last couple of days prepping for them?
Yeah, I've been impressed with Omaha. I think Chris done a good job. They got a couple guys back. Fiddler's really good, but they added some other pieces, some junior college transfers that are all talented and can score. The freshman class is really good, and he's got some productivity out of that group. So I think they have, a 10-man roster, all of whom can contribute, all of whom bring something different to the table. They've got some speed, they've got size. Played Nebraska tough, got down early against Kansas, at Allen Fieldhouse, came back and cut it to 5 or 7 in the second half. So, obviously, a talented team with some guys that can play and a number of different guys that can score.
Mike?
Aaron Eulis had a pretty considerable role in Newark. Well, how do you see him? Well, what is he going to do for you this season?
I think he's going to do exactly what you saw, Mike. I mean, he's versatile. He's aggressive. We played an athletic team that was pressing 94 feet. He handled it extremely well. We put him in space. He made terrific plays. He made great decisions. And it's just great to see him playing with that kind of confidence. And I'm really excited for him to have a big year.
Coach, our next question from John Bowenkamp, who's also in Carver. What sort of challenges does Fiddler present?
Fiddler's a handful because he's a crafty guy with size. He can play on the perimeter. He can play in the post. They run really good stuff that you have to defend and, figure out where he is. He's had some really, really big games. He can shoot it. He can drive it. He uses, his jab step, foot fakes, shot fakes, fadeaways, moves well without the ball. He's a, total engagement guy.
Chad?
Just a couple guys that didn't play up at Seton Hall, Dembele and Mulvey. What kind of things are you looking for them, like in practice, behind the scenes, whatever, so that they can earn those? I mean, it feels like you're going to probably need them at some point. So I guess how are they developing behind the scenes, would you say?
Yeah, I think they've been good. Josh was good in the first 2 games. That was a different kind of game against Seton Hall. Mulvey's coming. They're both, I think, real close in terms of maxing out what they're capable of doing to help us. I feel comfortable putting both of them in the game. I went with the group that I went with, primarily because of the fact that they were pressing 94 feet. And as long as we were able to keep Philip and Chris out of foul trouble and utilize Connor, we were going to be okay. But those guys are going to be major factors in the course of the season.
Got time for a couple more. Mike Halas.
I don't know if we'll have an opportunity to talk before you go to this tournament in Florida. So if you could just, in a nutshell, describe what you're facing down there.
Well, I think, Mike, when we entered the tournament and you saw the field, you're like, okay, there's gonna be 4 really good teams there, 4 high major teams. You got to play back to back. So go back to the previous question, we're going to have to utilize our roster. But it's another great opportunity to play quality teams on a neutral site, play back to back, tournament play early in the season. And, obviously there's tournaments going on right now. Everybody's doing it. And it's another great opportunity for us.
Any other questions? Chad, one more.
Yeah, I'll go one more. Desante, obviously you talked about it after the game the other night, just he and Dix had kind of a limited role. Do you still see kind of there being he and Aaron Eulis are pretty close right now in terms of, minutes long term, or is that kind of a competition, or how would you kind of size up those two guys?
Both Bowen and Dix are going to play a lot. They're going to be really good players for us for a very long time. It could happen in the next game. It could happen in the next week. But those guys are going to play a lot. I feel very confident playing them. But we went with the group we went with the other night to get a big road win. So I'm really pleased with, the veteran guys in that environment. They performed really well when you think about how we handled the ball with Tony, Aaron, Peyton, Patrick, Connor in particular.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. Thanks,
Okay,
everybody.
guys.
See
Yep.
you tomorrow.